Okay.
That's horrible.
It's bad. Welcome to #social. I'm Liv.
And I'm Cole. And welcome to episode 4.
Welcome to episode 4.
And 2021.
I know. It's our first episode of 2021.
The first episode of the new year.
Where's the applause? Where's the
I know.
crowd cheering?
Yeah! What? It goes
These
on and
people.
on. Oh, stop. Oh, no. No, continue. Thank you.
In 2021, we have a live audience now.
Yes. We're not going to show them to you, but
No.
they're there.
They're
Trust
there.
us.
Mhm. Yep. And for those of you concerned, they are social distancing.
Yes. So I've been told.
Wow, we're the worst. Anyway.
Oh, man. Well, what a start to the year, right?
I mean,
What a start to the year.
it's a start.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
I like the meme that's going around where it's like 2021 stepped in and asked 2020 to hold their beer.
Yes.
Like it's accurate.
Wait, that's so funny.
It's very accurate.
I like it.
But we were planning on doing a Christmas episode, but we didn't because 2020 and there was so much going on.
Yeah. We just decided to just enjoy the
Yes.
holidays and the time and all of that, and particularly for Brad and I, like it was our last one, like just the two of us.
Yep, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
And
Yes.
your guys' first married,
Yes.
which is
yes.
exciting.
Yes.
So
And I know like Liv and I were talking about this before we got on, but like everybody's Christmas and holidays this year were just completely different.
yeah.
And so
Yep.
we're like, let's just take some time to like let this all soak in and just think on everything, and then
Mhm.
we'll reconvene when everybody's rested,
Yep.
which is there's no
now.
rest.
Here we
but
are.
That's
Yeah, I was
okay.
gonna
We're
say
here.
we're not really rested, but here we are.
I'm
we're
sure
showing
you're
up.
not.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Should be trying to. That's about to. Bye rest.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Welcome.
We got 3
screaming
months,
Child.
you guys, for those who
3 months.
don't know or aren't keeping track, which is probably most people. 3 months till baby boy is here,
Gosh.
and he is big.
It seriously
I feel
feels
like
like time
already.
has flown.
It really does, though, which I'm kind of glad about. I hope this last trimester goes by just as fast.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't even want to set that expectation because I'm just going to get bigger and probably more uncomfortable, and it's just going to, like, drag on, you know? So, anyway.
Well, I hope for a speedy
I know.
ejection.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what?
I
Still,
mean, I do, but I don't like the wording.
it's the best I could come up with. Okay.
All right, whatever.
But anyways, so we're back. We're ready to rock. Here we come. We're gonna make it happen.
Yep.
So, first episode in. So we've got some news, of course, that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna leave the controversy to the end. But I read something recently. I thought that was super interesting. That Snapchat is launching or has launched this spotlight feature that shows the best snaps in like a news feed, and they're coming right after TikTok.
See, I hadn't heard that.
Well, I hadn't either
News.
until I was like, every once in a while I'll go through the news and just kind of see like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
'Cause obviously Liv and I have talked about it. We're not huge avid Snapchatters.
Yeah.
Right? Did I say that right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
The kids call it these days.
Yeah, right. So, and that's, I mean, there's just a disconnect for us. So, but I thought that was interesting that here we are heating up the social media wars because it's projected that TikTok's going to have like 1.2 billion users by the end of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously the ban hasn't exactly happened. Like,
yeah, and so I got rid of mine because I was like, oh, it's just gonna.
right, we're done.
Yeah.
No, they're just like, they're just not even paying attention.
They played us.
Yeah. I don't.
But it's fine because I feel like Reels are the same thing. So the fact that it's
Yes.
looped into one on Instagram, I'm like, I'm good with that.
I agree.
So.
But there does seem to be somewhat of an audience on, I mean, there's a growing audience on TikTok. So it's one of those things where, hey, it's something to pay attention to a certain
for
degree.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, which is what we, had initially we had talked about like during quarantine.
Right.
We were like, wait, this is a this is a growing thing. Like, should we go after it? And
Right.
then they were like, nah, it's going to be banned. So I was like, meh.
And the formula is beautiful. I mean, without going too far into it, but it's just like, I have not used a platform that like addictive. You know what I mean? Like when you start swiping, you're just like, and the algorithm is so well tuned.
Oh
it's like, oh no, you're going to love this. And like, you can have a bunch of good ones in a row.
Yeah, for
Scary.
sure. It really is. So, like on top of that, or part of that is a similar thing on Reels. You like start scrolling, and then I have accidentally clicked where you go back to the top, and it like quickly scrolls through all the videos that you just looked at, and I was like,
oh my gosh.
Whoa. And so then I made myself go through and physically like go through each video again, and like I was like, wow, I just wasted a lot of time.
Scary.
Yeah, it really is.
So, anyways, interested to see how that plays out. That they're going to do something like that, because this is what they're trying to do, is bring in a way for, the creators, which from what I read, start at 16 years old. As long as you're 16 years and older, you can be a creator on Snapchat.
Okay.
And I supposedly there's a set amount. There's like $1 million that they set aside, and I think it's like a day or a week or something that they use to, spread across a crop of influencers or creators that they're trying to push to use the system, and obviously like ad revenue and things like that.
So is it a similar thing to TikTok, but now is on Snapchat?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I have not used the Spotlight feature. I have not messed with any of this yet. I've seen some screenshots, but other than that, I have not toyed with it.
It doesn't really surprise me, though, because I feel like for the most part, Snapchat and TikTok are like the generation below us.
Yes.
So the fact that it's kind of like...
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Because I still think that the content on Reels is subpar to TikTok. It's getting there.
Yeah.
But I'm not as...
There's a lot of like things taken from TikTok to use on Reels.
Yes, which you're like, okay. I mean, it makes sense. It's easy for creators to just go ahead and flip that stuff over, but
yep, for sure.
I expected a different segment, but doesn't surprise me. But anyways, so the other thing that we've got is we've talked about how Instagram keeps switching around kind of their layout. This is kind of a minor story, but it's just a fact that like some people were getting the update and some weren't. It's going to be a thing. Reels and shopping is going to be in the bottom layout, and likes and adding to your feed will be pushed up to the right-hand corner. That's a for sure. They've locked in that. See,
mine's been that way for a while now. How's yours?
Mine has too, but yours hit before mine did.
Okay.
And mine was more recent. And then with the new phone, I have found some odd bugs with Instagram. So I'm now using which I didn't know existed, a modded version of the Instagram app. So somebody actually went in and changed elements of it and are distributing it from a website, because you can load an app onto an Android phone without the App Store, which you cannot do with Apple.
Oh.
So it's actually very cool, because it's adds some features that you don't normally get, and some tweaks that are kind of nice. So, but maybe we can get into that in another episode. That there's some black market apps out there.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right.
But anyway, so the layout is here to stay. So get used to that plus and the heart up in the top right corner, and next time you try to add something, if it's new for you, you're going to Reels.
Yep. Yeah, that was the thing for me. Like
it's tough.
I kept clicking it like I was going to post something, and I would click on the Reels one,
which was completely intentional on their behalf.
100%. Isn't that crazy though?
Oh yeah, they trained us.
Yes.
And then they're like, "Hey, by the way."
Yeah. But like to then think, okay, where's the most like optimal spot to put this new feature?
Yeah.
Like people had to like think through that, and that's so smart, I feel like.
I agree. That's why they are who they are, and we are who we are.
I know, it's true though.
If I would have thought of it, man.
They would have taken your idea and stolen it.
Yes, this is true. Somebody would have bought it.
Right.
a new thing, and I haven't seen this roll out yet, but I know it's supposed to. That when you Google something, if there is a relevant search that comes up, at the top, you will see actual short videos from TikTok and Instagram at the top on your web results.
Like as ads?
Nope. So
Or
if it's relevant content to what you're searching for, it will pop up at the top in like a card view.
Oh.
It would link you to that video. So I mean, I'm assuming that probably a lot of things we're going to see are like videos that are maybe marketing a product.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe a service. But I thought that was interesting that now Google's trying to integrate the content from social media platforms into their search results.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But
I'm sure they're probably just trying to capitalize on things that are most used.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean?
But I mean, think about it, how much we, even us now, use social media to find new products or look at reviews of a service or a company.
100%.
And so now, I mean, that if that stuff is relevant. So now if it all goes into one spot, and I mean, of course, it makes sense for the future generations down the line, because what doesn't get put on social media?
It's true.
And it keeps Google relevant.
Yeah, it's really funny. I was just actually talking about this with some people earlier this week of they were asking me the advantages of using hashtags. And I'll just talk really quick point to that of aside from marketing your business, like just from a consumer standpoint for myself, I will look up hashtag Indianapolis restaurants or whatever, which you can Google that, but sometimes you'll get some hidden nuggets of places that Google's not going to bring up,
right?
But other people will, or restaurant reviews or critics or whatever, you know what I mean? There's just a little bit more of a different search that's brought up through.
Yeah, and it's somewhat more personal.
I'm sorry, everybody. No, I do, but I am so annoyed with how out of breath I am now. I'm not even doing anything. Just talking makes me out of breath.
I'm not doing anything other than growing a child.
Well, it sounds like I just ran.
If it sounds like Liv is working out on the show.
I'm not.
No.
Nope.
We are both sitting.
Yep, I'm just sitting. Growing a human. It's fine.
We should do a stand-up podcast. It's today we're doing this one on the treadmill. What's up? Sorry.
It would literally sound the same though as me just sitting here, though. Right. Oh
that's after the pregnancy.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm not gonna make it do that.
We'll do it after, right?
Good luck.
Oh God.
Anyway. Yeah. So we've got one more newsworthy topic, and this one's unavoidable, I feel like.
It is.
Yeah. So, as we all know, at the time of us recording this, inauguration's tomorrow. To you guys, it would have already passed.
Mm-hmm.
But leading up, we all know the events. No need to drudge those up or talk about details. But following these events, President Trump was banned from a myriad of online platforms, mainly the big ones: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yes, forgot about Twitter. So we figured we'd go over this a little bit because it actually kind of segues into some stuff that we're going to talk about today.
It does.
I'm interested. What are your thoughts on this? Liv and I have not talked about this subject. We have not even seen each other yet until this day in 2021. So curious to get your thoughts.
Yeah. So a couple of different ones, which for one, I haven't researched this side of it, so I don't know all of the details. But my initial thought on it, when everyone who was more so for Trump was really against this, how could, this is, not what free speech is, and you're banning him and all of that sort of thing. I initially was kind of well, this is a business. They kind of have the, right to refuse people.
Yep.
Of that nature. I was going to give other examples, but whatever. You get the point.
Yeah.
But then I was recently told that that actually goes against like their policy and contracts with social media accounts
which
of like censoring and
right. There's some language in there for sure.
yes, which I
now there's
don't know. It's very new to me, so I'm like low key stumbling over my words a little bit, but
Yeah, I get it myself as well.
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of stuff. There's a lot of other podcasts and videos and stuff that have covered it. So
Yeah.
I've tried to kind of stay up on it just out of curiosity, really,
right.
more than
So
anything.
I guess like more of a short-winded way of it is I initially was like, well, it sucks. Right. It definitely sucks. And it's not just Trump that gets
Right.
censored. Okay.
Right.
Like, let's call a spade a spade.
Exactly. It goes beyond that.
It definitely does. And so that sucks. But at the same time, my initial thoughts were, well, they have the right to ban whoever. Until I heard more of, well, not exactly. That kind of goes against, their contracts and, all of that. There's a
Right.
ton of legal jargon that I do not know.
There's a lot of laws and regulations and
Um,
things that
So
cover a lot of this area.
yeah. So I feel torn a little bit there.
Yep.
Which obviously we've seen Zuckerberg and Bezos, go before a court and they ask them about some of these things and then nothing happens.
Yes.
So
Yeah. No, it's an interesting deal for sure. Even from the stuff that I've heard, because there's an argument on both sides, and I think there's both valid points. I think censorship at that level is a little scary, and I think that's like the main thing. And again, not just because it was him, but because you see this, the ability to do so. And then you're like, from there on, like that can happen with anybody, especially somebody like us. I mean, we wouldn't even know.
right.
And so it's just interesting to kind of see it all play out. I don't know. It's just one of those things where you're like, at the end of the day, like I put my content on there and it's not really my content once it reaches these websites.
Yeah. And I mean, even there were smaller like bloggers or not even bloggers, but just people that talked a lot about the election and things going on around that really was kind of sipping some tea and like letting things out of the bag on a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And, mysteriously were censored or their accounts were being blocked or posts were being taken down. And it's just kind of like, ugh.
The thing that freaked me out was somebody else put it when you're essentially influencing a civilization, which is what Facebook is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like if you think about Facebook in general, like Facebook itself is influencing a whole civilization because, I mean, the amount of daily active users they have, and those are across the world.
Right.
I mean, they are in other countries. And I've heard other stories about Facebook influencing other countries in that way, that they can literally incite, like Facebook themselves, their algorithm
Yeah.
can incite different things to happen in economies and civilizations and like people,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's where everybody is. So it makes sense. So you
Right.
go, yes, the current laws and regulations, they do back some of these decisions. But I think that's why I've heard more often than not that now that's where we need the new regulation on these companies because, like, yeah, their influence is so far reaching that it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think
for
anybody
sure.
ever expected that.
Right. Yeah. I think it's turned into a bigger beast than anyone
Yeah.
maybe initially expected it would be.
Right.
Which is kind of like a little scary.
It's a little scary.
And
it's a great reminder, though, that they are companies run by people and they do have opinions, and they, as of right now, do have a right to uphold those opinions
Right.
because it's they own it. I mean,
yeah.
I can only imagine. I've never read, and I would love to be honest. I'm sure that's very long and very like bunch of like law talk, but their
Legal
terms
jargon.
have got to be just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that, did you see that which is actually Parlay? Did we talk about this? It's not Parler. It's Parlay.
Oh gosh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
What? But I mean, like a
sorry.
lot of people say parlor because that's.
Yeah.
It looks like it is parlor. It's parlay, by the
Of
way.
course it is.
Um,
Holy crap.
it's been
we should talk about that too. Yeah.
it's been out for 2 weeks now.
Yeah. They shut it down.
They shut it down because you'll have to help me with some of this. It's under like Amazon's.
Yes. So there's AWS, Amazon
Yes.
Web Services. They're essentially a hosting provider.
Hosting,
They have
that's
their
what it is.
yes, they have their servers. They host a very large percentage of our internet. Which is it again. Like the funny thing is all of this was leading up to this. All the stuff I've heard in 2020, like everybody was talking about it. Like, can they do this? Should they do this? And obviously that's why they were going to the court systems because of antitrust laws and things like that. Like there's a lot of power to all this. So no, it was interesting that Apple and Google were like, you're off the App Store, which means they can still function. But then they were like, then Amazon was like, nope, we're shutting the switch off, and that completely kills an app.
Yep.
And they've talked about it. Like if they really wanted to go back live, they could probably find another hosting service of some sort.
Right.
Somebody likened it to. You probably have not heard of the website, but the Pirate Bay. Yeah,
I have.
they likened it to that because they're like, literally, I think their main person, whatever you want to call them, because obviously that's still not a very legal operation, but they were like, if we were able to move around for the last 30 years to keep our site live, like they can probably figure it out.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is actually illegal.
Yeah. Pirate Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a hard one to think. Parlor.
I know.
Gosh, a lot of people still call it parlor. Anyways,
know.
that's interesting. But yeah, there's a lot that went down. There's a lot to think about. I mean, we endorse these these platforms because they are good life and business tools.
Exactly.
But but my feeling is towards all of this is that we're just in a spot now where they're at a size that nobody really knows what to do with. And it can influence a full civilization or country. And so it's like, might need to think about this a little differently moving forward.
Right. Yeah, so great segue here. Because what I wanted to talk about, and this was really brought to my attention more so in the last couple of weeks. I think probably just in light of, a lot of what's going on social media, but in general, obviously Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those are not ours. We don't own those.
Right.
So, there's even been days on Instagram where it's like not working.
Right.
Do you remember those days? And everyone would flood over to Twitter to see if Instagram was down or whatever. And so everyone was like, what do we do? But from a business standpoint, if you have all of your, like everything wrapped up in social media accounts, it can be gone in a day.
Right.
And then what do you have? You literally have nothing.
Right.
So, one of the things I think that is a really, really good idea for any business or brand is to have a website and a blog. Or a blog.
Yep.
Basically a home base that's not a social media account that people can go back to.
Yep. Good place for your content to live.
Correct.
Or at least extra content, whatever that might be. It is a good idea to have. Now, no matter what, when you put something on, you still have to use a hosting company.
Sure.
You're still using somebody. So there's always a danger of that. And I think Liv and I are both proponents for local or cloud backups of some sort. Keep your stuff somewhere.
Right.
But yes, at that point in time, you're essentially the master of your domain.
Yeah.
You've got that's actually a really good pun.
That's actually a really good
I was
pun.
like, wait a second.
That's good. Good job.
But yeah, and again too, like not only is that a good spot to have, more access and more control over your content, but again, it's just another relevant search.
Correct.
It just helps you to get found.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't even mean this just in a sense of if, social media accounts are going to censor what you're saying. I just mean in the sense that, social media accounts come and go. We've seen that.
Right.
Which, I think Facebook and Instagram have hung around for a while, but you never know. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just to cover your bases, to have that backup where people can subscribe, you can send out newsletters, emails,
Yep.
that sort of thing, just as a backup is a really, really smart idea.
And a lot of people now are, a lot of creators, influencer types are using this in conjunction with their following on bigger platforms, and making somewhat of a, an area for fans, essentially that the people who really love their content, love the person themselves, they've got that opportunity to go in and see content before it's uploaded to social media accounts.
Yep.
It's another way for people like that to also gain revenue. It's just like a more curated experience, which is another really awesome way to really create your brand.
Is there something I was gonna say? Brain. I know. it literally happens to me all the time. I just go blank of what I thought I was going to say.
So at least you can blame it on the baby.
I know. But yeah, having a blog or a website there is also a good spot where people can go to find your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest. It's a good, like I said, home base.
Yep.
To find everything there. So
it's true. Do you have a website?
For what that's worth. Not yet. I know.
I've been trying to get
It's
her.
bad.
I'm like,
I need to. I know it's on my 2021 agenda.
I'd help.
It's it's overdue. Okay. Do as I say, not as I do, people.
Right. But in the meantime, go to ColeAnthony.com. No.
Right.
That one does exist. And there's a great self-portrait up on the top. No.
Oh my gosh.
It's true though. Yeah.
Is it the one I took with your car?
No, it is not. It's one that Audrey helped me take. It was literally like the same week I bought the car.
Okay.
And I'm like on a beach with the car.
Naturally.
It's fantastic.
Sweet.
I should
don't
not
even know that I have gone there.
I should not like that picture as much as I do, but it's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. Naturally.
Well, I spend a lot of time behind the camera, so when I get to spend some time in front of the camera, I'm like, hey, look at that guy.
There's no judgment
What?
from me. Okay.
What do you mean?
So there's no judgment.
I know, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
You don't even know what a selfie is. No.
There you are. I took that one.
Yes, there are some pictures that you helped out with for sure. That's the
other
inevitable.
day, as a total random side note, you, I think it was on your Facebook, you changed your profile picture to some that we did in the parking lot. And I was like, I took that.
That was me.
That was me.
Oh, man. We need to do a photo session against him. On another note.
I know. But do we do it while I'm...
Why not? Why not? Embrace it.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
It's only going to happen so often.
Oh, my gosh.
Only like 4 more times.
I don't know about that.
Whatever.
We'll say 3.
Because you're going to get through it, and then... I couldn't remember what the number was, but you'll get through it, and you'll forget. And you'll be like, I need another one. That's how that works.
Probably. My gosh.
But anyways, I don't know how
I
love how we got from websites
Sorry.
and blogs to babies.
It's because the bump is just so out there right now. It's really hard to miss. And
The bump is there.
When I'm out of breath, that's very in your face.
I know that maybe one day we're gonna be like doing the podcast. You're gonna have a baby in your
we're gonna
arms.
have 3 co-hosts, man. Is it co then at that point? If there's 3?
I guess.
Okay, co's not just like 2.
I don't know.
I don't either.
That's a great question. I think wouldn't we be technically we'd be co-hosts?
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
I think that's how they do it in the news world. I don't know.
I don't either.
Anyways, we're just
Oh gosh.
yeah.
Tangent. Anyway, website. I'm working on it. Do as I say,
Yes.
not as I do.
And if you're not gonna build it right away, just buy the domain. Just buy a domain. It's totally worth it. Usually they're like $10 to $12 a year. So we're talking like $1 a month. Just buy the domain. I have like 20 domains.
Can you put that into Starbucks drinks? You know how people like to support like this dog or these kids, they're like, that's a cup of coffee a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Which sounds terrible.
It's literally probably like maybe
I'm just
2 cups.
Right.
Like
A
a year.
That's it, people.
I get what you're saying there. Yeah. It's
So funny.
2 cups of coffee a year, man.
Yeah, that's
Get
it.
the domain.
Get
Your domains,
domain.
bro. Google's the best. Google's the best for that
That's
too,
so
by the way.
funny.
Don't use GoDaddy.
Don't use
Trust
GoDaddy.
me. They're evil.
Okay, so
They're
while
evil.
we're on this,
Yes.
okay,
Make it short.
why?
Always good to have a shorter domain.
Oh no, that's what I meant. I thought you you meant
No, come
what I
on,
was
Liv.
going to
Make
say.
short.
What you have to say? Make it
No.
short. Let's go.
That's not nice.
Um,
You're like, and
I was like,
make
I
it
don't
short.
know what to say. I can't speed it up that fast. Okay, so to use like what is it, Wix or like what is that, Squarespace?
yeah.
Okay, so can you have like a domain for those, like a Cole Ankeny, but you can still use like Wix or
Yes.
okay.
The awesome thing, and I haven't done it with Wix, but with like Squarespace, they have a whole thing that takes you through the process of connecting the two, and
Okay.
usually you just have to log into your account. Again, GoDaddy is very hard, and it's a longer process. But with Google, you just log in, good to go. That's the way I have it with my Squarespace website. So I bought ColeAnkeny.com.
Okay.
All I did was log in to my Google account through Squarespace. It connected it, took care of the rest,
Okay.
which
Okay.
is nice because it did not used to be that way.
Okay. See, I didn't think that it did. I think that's also what like intimidated me, because it felt like you'd have to start from like ground zero,
Right.
which is intimidating.
Yes, and you do not.
I don't want to do that.
It's so easy. And it's
Okay.
better to have everything in one space. Like Squarespace or Wix will try to sell you a domain through their services, which, again, if you're going to have one and you're going to kind of be casual, that's fine. But I think having them, again, this is like, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Like, I buy my domains outside of the service so that if I need that domain later on and I don't want to use that service,
Not wrapped up in.
it's not wrapped up. I just,
Gotcha.
I kill my Squarespace account and I still have all my domains in my Google and
Hey,
I'm
that's
done.
a good idea. All right.
So they're so
Duly
cheap.
Noted.
Lock it down. And if you got to
Lock it
lock it down.
down.
And if you've got a good one, if you come up with something, you end up buying something good, there's a possibility it's worth money down the road.
That's true.
Domains can sell for a lot. I remember back in the day, like fish.com sold for like $1 million.
What?
Yeah, it's literally a domain.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That
It's
is
crazy. And people just buy them and they park them and they wait.
interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a whole other world I
Yeah.
don't know much about.
So I mean,
That's your space.
this almost goes along with the same. So when we were talking originally, like in the first episode, this is a good first step thing to do.
Yeah.
It's when you make your profile name or whatever that might be, buy your domains at the same time. There's no reason not to. It's so cheap. Just
Such a
hang
good
on to
idea.
them. And then you can build your website later.
Yeah.
And literally Squarespace is like, I don't know, $12 a month if you build a site.
Okay.
I think the most expensive plan's like $24, $26, but that's for business if you want to do like e-commerce. So I think it's
Ew.
somewhere in the $10 to $16 a month range. And
I haven't even looked at it, to be perfectly honest.
it's just the cost
bad.
of it is just, and at that point, if you're making money somehow, whether
Mhm.
that's with your business or whatever, it's a write-off. So
Yeah.
that's a great,
Wow. Hey, there you go.
it's a great episode in itself. Just talk about the
Yeah.
finances behind everything. I'm just
Right.
saying, not
Oh
that
my
we're
gosh.
CPAs by any means, but
Nope.
anyways, so.
All right.
Do you have
duly
anything else
noted.
for website and blogs?
I don't think so. That
Okay.
was really my, just something I had been thinking about the last couple of weeks for myself, but also just as a really good tip for other people. We
Yes.
we don't own Facebook and Instagram,
Not by any means.
so
And there's some, I've read articles where even some of the cloud storage, like Google Drive, like if you put something on there, it's not yours
Yeah.
for the time that it spends on there,
yeah,
which is scary. It's
And
like,
it-
what if you had a whole like idea, like you came up with the next best like table, and it was just like a crazy design, and it had I don't know. Anyways, built-in cup holders or something that was proprietary, right? And you were
Right.
putting everything on Google Drive. Like I think that technically, like if somebody were, if Google decided they saw this and they wanted it, and it was all on the Google Drive, like they could take it,
probably.
and it would be lawful, like which is crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Oh gosh.
just think about the fact that
Yeah. Oh my word.
get you some external hard drives and keep them at home.
It's true.
Hide all your data.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that's a whole other thing in and of itself, man.
Yes.
Ugh.
I
So
feel like
much.
we should have called it the Rabbit Hole Podcast.
I know that's what it is.
That's all we do.
It's more so this episode. I feel like was a little bit more rabbit
That's okay though.
holy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh jeez. Okay.
Anyway,
Let's rein it back in
Yeah,
here,
come on.
people. So, okay. We have talked about, just as kind of like a quick recap of previous episodes.
Yeah.
We've done social media basically 101. We try to stay kind of surfacey on some of those things so that way later we can kind of go more in depth.
right.
So we've talked about, obviously identifying your vision and your mission for your business and your brand and what you want that to be. And then, setting up your social media platforms and getting the branding, knowing who your audience is, and then actually getting to posting.
Right.
We've talked, a little bit about that. But I wanted to chat a little bit more of engagement on social media because
Well, what is engagement, Liv?
what is it?
What is engagement?
Are you just playing devil's advocate?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just having you explain
Got it, yeah.
engagement to in case somebody goes
Sure.
engagement. And
Yeah.
what does that
So
mean for me?
essentially, I'm going to use the word in the definition,
okay.
engaging with your audience.
Yeah. No.
I feel like most people probably understand what that means. So, it's not enough just to put a post out there and just let it go.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
along with, I believe it was the last episode we were talking about stories.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
About how you need to get on there, engage with your audience. It's the same thing into your comments, your DMs. You have to be responding to people as best that you can.
Yes. Yes. I'm bad at this.
Are you?
Sometimes I don't know what to say, and I could probably put something out there,
Mhm.
but it's just like I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
That's why I saw you post something about your blue light glasses,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, I'm gonna comment on this.
You
I
did.
did.
I was proud.
Yes. I'm trying.
Yeah, so that's actually a good thing too. Not just engaging when people comment on your stuff, but also going out and commenting on other people's things as well.
Yes.
Um,
Especially if you're trying to support a friend.
well, yeah, that too.
Help somebody's numbers out.
It's true. That is true. And then another like really good way to engage is using those polls or questionnaires or
Yes.
quizzes on your stories. You guys, it's
Those are awesome.
so easy.
Yeah.
Especially on those days where you're like, I don't actually want to go on and like show my face and talk. Throw up some questions, some polls, whatever. It helps people feel engaged and still stay in the loop with your account.
Yep.
And so with that, I mean, you can do, just like fun ones that don't really pertain to your business, or you can actually use it to your advantage and see, what things your audience likes or doesn't like, or kind of help almost shape and mold some of the things that they're wanting to see from you.
Yes. It's huge.
It is huge, and it's so easy.
Yeah. Because you think it doesn't play in as much, but like there's an Instagram profile I follow that's it's called Car Lifestyle. I follow a lot of car stuff. And, usually like I'll see a post like maybe it's something cool and I'm like, okay, great. But recently they've been posting a story and they'll post 2 cars and say which one.
Yes.
And there's like they'll put like 15 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I will do every one. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's, yeah. And
You're
I
like,
want to
that's fun.
see.
You're like, okay. And
like,
you want to see what other people say, too.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's genius.
It is. It really is, though. So not only is it kind of fun for your audience, especially more of the polls that are just easy where people can literally just
You're like, oh,
blindly just like click. You know what I mean? But it is great for engagement for your account, as well as just that Instagram algorithm is like, oh, okay, we're seeing people
yes.
engage with this particular account, which is good.
They care about that.
As well as the more that you are doing that and the more that people are engaging with you, your stories are pushed as almost like a priority on
Right.
people's homepage, which is what you want.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, the first 10, maybe. are the ones you're going to click through
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that's generous, I feel like. Well,
It is,
until
yes.
you like end up clicking through all of them and then it like refreshes to, you know, ones you haven't seen, then you're like, okay, I'll look at the B team, you know, stories.
I don't even get to
Go
that
through
point.
some of those.
Like, nope.
Um,
Usually live somewhere in the first top 5 on mine.
yeah, so do yours.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I do think that it does play into relevancy, which also plays into like obviously these two people know each other.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that is part of it.
Sure. Well, yeah, it definitely does. Because, I mean, I, you know, send messages and stuff with my friends and my sisters, you know, and obviously we engage there as well. But they show up on my
Yes.
stories immediately whenever they post things.
Right. That's like Audrey. So if
Mhm.
she posts like a couple times a month, and when it's on there, it's number 1. It will always go to number 1.
Yep.
I like smart Instagram.
I know. Wow.
Put
It's
the
like
wife up there.
Yeah. Put the wife
Smart.
up there.
Got to keep me in the loop.
It's true. Yeah, that's
Although
funny.
usually it's me, so
Yeah. That's true. Just reposting.
I'm tagged.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ah.
That's funny. Yeah. And then the other thing that I'm not like super great about this. I don't love it. Okay.
What
I'm
is
gonna
it?
be honest. Is doing lives.
Oh yeah,
I don't love doing lives. Okay.
yeah. I
But-
get that. I get that.
The reason why I don't love doing lives is because I feel like for me, I don't even really enjoy watching lives that much because I
Yes.
feel like it's not convenient. Like I want to watch your content on my own time.
Right.
You
No,
know what
I
I
agree.
mean? So that is the advantage of being able to save your lives. People can go back and like watch it later. But lives are a really good way to engage with your people.
Right.
But the good way to do it is, I mean, obviously if you're going on lives, it would be a good idea to have kind of a mapped out itinerary plan of why you're going on lives. And not just showing up there and,
What up?
you know, eating dinner.
Yeah, but I think that happens a lot.
I
Hey
mean,
guys, I'm here. Like, watch me.
I think people probably do that, but they probably have a lot of followers that are
Yes.
just like want to be like
right.
knowing what they're doing.
I think it takes an audience. I really do.
Yeah.
My audience has never been large enough for me to warrant it.
Right.
Not that I don't think that it would benefit to a certain degree, but you know, if you're going to speak to, 5 people, like
Yeah.
if you usually only have about 5 people online at a
Yeah.
time, you're like, what's the point?
Right. Right.
And-
When you can, to some degree, either just throw that up on a story and just let it sit there for 24 hours or make a post about it, whatever.
Yeah. And I'm like, on my
But-
story, I know I can get close to 100 people to see it. So you're like, for
Right.
me, that's good.
Right. No, I know.
For the time being.
Yeah. But not only having like an idea of what, you're going to go on and do a live about, but promoting it in advance.
Yes. That's
Is going to be
yes.
super helpful as well. And putting like a countdown that people can, I guess, get notifications about on your story as well
Right.
is a good idea.
I agree.
But I know it's not everyone's cup of tea because when you're live,
Yeah.
as opposed to doing a story where you'd be like, oh, I don't like that, and delete
Do it
it and do it again. So lives are a little bit more intimidating. So, it is a good idea to have a little bit more of a planned out idea for going live. And then just, really kind of marketing that to your audience that, hey, I'm going live to do this. Like if you sell clothes, you're like, I'm going to go live to show you a new collection, that
Yep.
sort of thing. Or, yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, it has some very good situations, or has some situations that it's really good for, that can really help out certain people. But
Yes.
for some, I don't think it's as helpful. But
Right.
but it's there,
Sure.
and they're going to continue to add stuff to that too. I know that's a big deal.
To lives.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think especially because of like, look at us now. I think somebody was telling me that a YouTuber, PewDiePie, he's like one of the highest like followed YouTubers.
Cutie pie?
Yeah,
Oh.
PewDiePie, like
Ew. I don't like that.
That's so funny. I would have thought that maybe you would have. He does a lot of gaming stuff, but still,
why.
we're talking like this dude. Supposedly, he just signed an exclusive deal with Facebook,
Okay.
and we're talking like one of his biggest streams or videos or whatever. I think it was a stream. It had more people watch it than like CNN and Fox News.
What?
Like we're talking like it's insane.
On his what? On his live? Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
So we're talking like 3 million people.
That's insane.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely insane. I mean, we're seeing the shift, right? I just read an article about like the late night shows are seeing the lowest numbers they've ever seen.
Yikes.
Like low. So you're like, it's kind of crazy to think that that's where we're moving from. So there is a future in that space. You know, if you have a concept or a good idea for something that works on that live platform,
Yeah.
by all means, you know, use it because
Right.
people are moving away from traditional content.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Yeah,
is going
for
to be
sure.
it's going to become the new norm.
Yeah.
So now is really the time to jump on it. So
I just looked up his account. I've never heard of him and or seen him before.
are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on his Instagram.
How
right
many
now.
followers does he have on Instagram?
He has 21.7 million.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Just
Yeah.
it's fine. It's chill.
Isn't that insane? I think there's got to be over because I mean there are some people I thought that have like 100 million on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he's somewhere in that camp.
Yeah. There's yeah. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Isn't that blowing your mind?
Yeah, it really is though. So I just heard about this other one, Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally just heard about him this weekend.
What?
And he only, I mean, not only,
Oh, okay.
he has 12 million, but in comparison to
Yeah.
20, oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah.
And for people who aren't like quote unquote celebrities.
Yep. By no means have not started in that world, will not end in that world. They are in their own YouTube, you know, YouTubers that have made it big.
Right. Wow, that is crazy. I mean, to some degree, that is some of the people who are in like the beauty
Yes.
space.
Yes.
Some of them have
That's a
millions
big,
of followers as well. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's weird to think that you could have an audience that size.
I know.
We're just down here trying to get like I'm just like, give me 100. Come on.
give you
Come
100.
on.
You have more than 100.
No,
followers.
I know. I'm trying to push that 500. I haven't gotten there yet.
You'll get there.
I've been right on the edge, so it's getting there.
Yeah. So the people we're talking to do not have 12 million followers. So,
This is true. But here's the thing.
or maybe you are. Let us know.
Again, these people have hyper-focused channels.
Yeah.
I guess, sorry, I should not say hyper-focused, but they've started with one thing. That's what they do. They do it well, and they've pushed the boundaries. And I think that's what we've talked about this whole time, that you come on, you be consistent.
I'm going to say it's consistency.
It's consistency, and these people have been putting out content for a long time and at a very consistent rate.
Yeah, I was
Guarantee you
gonna
it's daily, if not multiple times daily.
I was going to say, for one, it's consistency, whatever that looks like for them, but also it is time. Like these people have been doing it for years. So
yeah, and it takes time.
It definitely does take time. So, from our standpoint, I mean, we've seen that even too with the podcast of just feeling like a little discouraged, like wanting it to be more than what it is, but we understand the process and know the things that we need to do with it, and just being patient with the growth. Your community, your people are going to come around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we've seen a lot of people take, I mean, it's just like anything, right? I mean, a lot of businesses takes 5 to 10 years to be profitable. You're like, it's the same thing. You're starting a business. If this is really what you want to do, you have to put in the time.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And I know people who are on YouTube with like, I don't, 500,000 or 600,000 subscribers. And if they make a good enough views, I mean, we're talking in a good month, they could make 20 grand.
Yeah.
And so you're like, which is, if you could do that on a monthly basis, that's a great living.
Right.
And that's in it. If for us in the context of YouTubers and influencers, the people online, 600,000 is a lot, but it's not that many.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in comparison.
In comparison to some of the top, producers, you're
Right.
like that's, that's a respectable number. Again,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I'm not putting that down, but like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I will even say just in conversing with a lot of people who are in that influencer space that have thousands more followers than I do, can even be in the 1 to 3,000 or 300,000 followers and still make
oh yeah.
bank.
Oh yeah.
So don't feel like if you're not in that millions or high thousands that's the end all be all. I mean,
Right.
sure, like that can be like a goal, but you can still be successful
Yes.
monetarily
Yes.
and have significantly less.
And that's diversifying.
Yeah. Yep.
Spreading out what you're doing and being smart about what you're doing. And yeah, usually that's not just, that's leveraging, product deals and
Sure.
sponsorships and things like that. So
Yeah, I mean, even for this is actually fairly new for me. This is a good kind of a cherry on top of the hashtag conversation that we had in our last episode. I have recently switched some of the hashtags in my own posts and things that kind of tailor towards pregnancy.
yeah.
And so I've done some broad hashtags and a little bit more like specific to like Midwest, mom or like whatever.
Yeah.
I have now had 3 brands that have reached out to me that want to send product to me.
That's awesome.
To review. And they're just like, we're just going to send it to you. It was a subscription box pregnancy one that wants to send me one. And I'm not saying this to like gloat. It is exciting. Don't get me wrong.
That's super exciting.
I'm pretty jazzed about it. But I'm just saying, like, I have like 1,800 followers, and I have bigger brands that have several thousand followers that have reached out to me. So the subscription box, there's like a camera monitor, and then like I forget the other one. What is it? Oh, like a pregnancy like cream or lotion or whatever that's supposed to help with like aches and pains or whatever.
Great.
Which, to be fair, I looked into all of these brands to make sure they were actually like legit.
Right.
Okay, because there are some that are just out there to scam people.
It's true though. Watch out for that.
Yeah, definitely. And for the most part, you'll kind of know if they're spammy or not real.
It's pretty easy. Go to their profile and look at their feed.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, just as a side note of that, definitely be smart in that, because a lot of times they'll ask, for an address to send you products or stuff, and you're like, "Gee." You're still kind of like a little bit weirded out because you're like, are these people real?
Right. And some of it you can just smell the sketchiness. You're like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. But I say that like, if I'm at 1,800 followers and I'm getting people or, businesses and brands to send me products just for reviews, who knows where that can go? Like, you can do it.
It can happen for you.
It can. It just.
Yes. No, it definitely can. It's where it's at. Everything is slowly but surely switching its way over, and companies are going to put a lot more time and effort into people like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
it's a big deal.
Yep.
But it's funny that you're speaking about that, and we're talking about engagement and everything, because another great way to get people to engage with you is giveaways.
It is. Yes.
And we have actually done this. We did this on the Life and Lattes podcast at least a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And that was super cool.
Yeah, so there's some good ways, some do's and don'ts
Yes.
for giveaways.
Yes, there's a don't that I'm not aware of.
Yes.
I read it on the outline and I'm like,
that I added there. He's like, what's this? So
I
we'll get
don't
that.
know what this is. So I'm like, I get to learn.
Yeah. I'll let you speak on some good things for giveaways.
I was gonna say, yeah, can we start with the good? And then
let
you can
you
tell
do
me
the
what's the don't.
Yep.
But no, it's, again, I think it all goes back to engagement. It's a great way to engage with your audience.
That's a great tool.
And go, hey, again, it's also a write-off because it's marketing.
Yep.
But, put something together. A lot of times you can get free items that, you just kind of sponsored from a brand or from a company, they're more than willing to throw something in just for, pure promotional reasons. So you can also work with people on that, which is awesome. But again, it's like you putting something out there along those lines. You could say, hey, follow or tell a friend. It's a great way to grow your audience, because people are more apt to do something like that because, hey, there's a possibility I might get something out of this. There might be an exchange of some sort.
Yeah.
So again, it is a great way for engagement in general. So
yeah, and just being able to kind of fine tune some of those requirements for people being entered into the giveaway. So
yes,
this can kind of loop back to the website. So if you have built your website and you're not seeing a whole lot of like traffic there or whatever, that can be a part of your giveaway as, hey, you want to be entered into this giveaway, subscribe to, my blog,
right.
Be a part of that family as well. And that's a good way to kind of amp that up as well. Just as a quick side note.
Which is kind of how a lot of those used to work.
What?
There were a lot of websites that would say, here's our giveaway to enter. You get an entry for every one of these things you do. And that's a follow on Instagram, a follow on Twitter, and a subscription, to the newsletter.
Yeah.
And if you only wanted to do one, you get one entry. If you do more, you can get more. And a
Yeah.
lot of those services still do live online, and you can put them on your website. So.
Right. Yep. The don't for giveaways, which is the thing that Cole said he didn't know about, is they're called loop giveaways.
Okay.
Okay.
So why is it called that?
Because there have been people and influencers, bloggers, known to do loop giveaways that are essentially, there's probably, I don't know, like 12, 15 people that are in a loop giveaway where they have all like collabed and have done like a big giveaway.
Okay. Whatever
that may be. Like a couple $1,000s worth of product or gift card or whatever. However, the stipulation with it is you have to go to, like, say you saw it on one particular person's account. They say, okay, now you have to go to this person's account and follow the entry rules for that. And then so you go to that one.
Okay.
And then their caption is like, okay, now you have to go to this account. So you're essentially going in a loop till you end up at the first or the first blogger influencer that you started.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm out of breath.
No, you're good.
So the reason why that's kind of a no-no, unless it's a small amount of people. If you're gonna do a loop, I think max is like 5 people that you want to do that with.
Okay.
Only because, one, people start to lose interest.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you start going down, you're like, oh, I've got to go to 15 different pages, right? I'd be like,
Yeah, not worth
pass.
it. Yeah. I'm like, ugh. Which, like, honestly, it's not that hard to do, right? You're just like going through and clicking.
Well, of course,
but you just have to be mindful that we're kind of like lazy people on social media, which is why I said earlier the polls get a lot more engagement than
we have short attention spans.
Exactly. So yeah, doing loop giveaways with 15 plus people or 10 plus people for that matter loses interest quickly.
It's interesting.
And then you're defeating the purpose.
Right.
You're not getting as many eyes as you would have wanted. So one way to kind of still be able to do like a bigger giveaway with a lot of people would be to, hey, go follow all these people.
Right.
Rather than go to these people's accounts, follow their rules of entry, and then so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and just so that I understand, and maybe somebody else does as well, if they've got a question. When you say, when you would go and kind of like follow their rules of entering, you're saying that there's a possibility that, let's just say there's 10 or 15 people that you're going in this loop with, that they'll have different requirements per account?
Sure. I mean, they could.
Oh, gosh.
Some may have you like share their post on their story, or I mean,
Okay.
if you have, there's 10 people in there and 7 of them are wanting you to share their photo on your story, you're kind of like, I
Right.
don't really want to do that.
Like, I'm
You know
gonna
what I
have
mean?
7 of those things in
Yeah.
my. Ugh.
Or,
Okay.
some people are like, yeah, go to my website or go to my YouTube, go to my Twitter. You're like, that's just it's just
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot.
And you're saying
Um,
that this is just like a best practice type of thing, that if you were to do this, this is not something that's like, it's frowned upon, but it's not like you cannot do it.
Correct.
Okay, I'm just making sure that there wasn't like a rule or something that this was like, hey, this is like a no per platform regulation. or something.
It's not a no through the platform. It's just kind of it's not best practice.
Yeah,
You're not going to
makes sense.
see the benefit from it that you are wanting,
That makes sense.
especially if you don't have the several thousand followers.
Right.
Sometimes people will do that for people who have several thousand followers. But when you're not sitting there, like if I were to do that right now, people would be like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
You know what I
pass.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, just being
Makes sense, yeah.
mindful of your audience. So, in the past, I have teamed up with 2 other girls who were trying to build our space here as, I don't want to say influencers, but I'm going to, as influencers with Instagram that have a smaller number. We pitched in stuff to do a nicer giveaway and saw a lot of benefit from that. I think I gained probably close to 200 followers.
Oh, wow.
Just from that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So just being mindful of that, keeping it smaller to some degree, or just being mindful of your audience, really.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's cool, though. Yeah, and it makes sense. Like I said, I mean, it's just one of those things where you're essentially rewarding people for spreading your
Yeah.
brand, your message. So,
Mhm.
which is cool.
Yeah,
Why
and
not?
thanking people for kind of following along in your journey, which sounds totally cheesy, but
But it's the truth.
it is. And
That's
then
okay. Better than you being like, well, I'm just awesome, and that's why you follow me.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of, it is a little bit more, I feel like a little bit more personal too with your audience, and
Yes.
and obviously the benefit for you as well is just to grow your following and to grow that engagement, and let's call a spade a spade.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah,
That's the motive.
That's really it for giveaways.
It's a good option, though. And I think we could probably even construct some sort of a list to help with engagement. So like we've talked about, that a lot of these topics we could definitely expand upon in specific episodes, but we're going to keep scraping the top here for a little while.
Yep, and who knows, maybe we'll throw some polls out there and see what you guys want to know
Yeah.
a little bit more in-depth things about. So
Which that's going to be the fun thing about hanging out with us, is that you're going to understand some of the mechanics behind some of the things that we do use across the platforms.
Yep.
So you're going to know that when we put that giveaway out there, we do it because we care.
We do it because we care.
We care about you.
My gosh.
Well, I think that's all we have for today, guys.
I think it is.
So I would talk about what we're going to talk about next episode, but
We're going to keep it a surprise.
yes, we would like to keep that a surprise. So we
But maybe we'll make it more of a tailored towards things that you guys are wanting to hear more about.
yeah,
Dig
get
deeper
some,
into.
maybe we get some answers on those polls, and then we can make that happen.
Bingo.
So thank you as usual for watching or listening, I should say, mostly probably. And if you watched,
We're on
thank
YouTube,
you.
so you
Yeah.
can watch us there as well.
Yeah, check it out. You get to see us
Check it out.
see us in person. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, if you see us in person on YouTube, there she is.
Ta-da.
And by she, I mean it's
I was
he.
going to say, it's a he.
But I call the bump a she.
Interesting.
There she is in all her glory.
There she blows. But yes, thank you for listening, watching, whatever it is you're doing. And yeah, if you have any things that you'd like to hear us talk about, feel free to reach out. And we'll put some stuff out there, and we'll get this episode going. And yeah, that was 4. Look out for 5. We're coming at you, 2021. Look out.
Look out. Freaking look out, people.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Peace out.
It's like, help me wrap it up, Liv.
I'm sorry.